Welcome to Fully In It, a show for moms who are called to grow themselves while growing their families. Join me, Kate Saffle, a life and a business coach for moms, a homeschooling mama of 3, and a woman on a quest to show that our lives become even more meaningful when we remember why we are here and what truly matters most. This show is about going fully in it for you and the people you love by showing up powerfully in motherhood, entrepreneurship, in your home life, and for your family vision. Join me for weekly episodes that will inspire you to live intentionally and by your values, to slow down and truly be present to your family life, to make decisions that grow a profitable business without sacrificing anything in the process, and to become the kind of mom and woman you know you're meant to be in this lifetime. Welcome to the Fully In It podcast. This is episode 120. If you're new here, welcome. I am so incredibly glad that you decided to listen to this podcast. And there are so many episodes for you to dive into. A lot of people love starting at the very beginning because I began recording this podcast 5 years ago when I was a brand new entrepreneur. And so you can hear my journey, and maybe you can even find yourself in it and feel so supported and encouraged. And if you've been around this entire time, you know how grateful I am that you are here. It means so much to me that out of all the podcasts out there that you choose to listen to this one, because I know that you're busy and you have a lot going on. And I hope that today's episode is really supportive for you. So before we jump into the 6 daily success practices, I want to talk to you about an event that is coming up this next week. So if you're listening to this episode live, it is the beginning of July, which is crazy. I cannot believe, oh my gosh, that we're like going into the second half of 2023. And if you kind of feel that too, it is okay. It is okay, right? We have a whole another 6 months, but really, you have an entire lifetime to do and be what you want to be. So we don't need to feel pressure. We don't need to make time our enemy, but we also get to recognize that, hey, the game isn't over yet. The game is not over. In fact, maybe it is just starting right now, and you can reclaim and decide to recommit to your business. You can say, okay, today's the day. I'm making today day 1, and I am all in for the rest of this year. So I want to support you in that. I want to help raise the energy, bring the motivation back, give you the strategy, the tools that you need so that you can feel confident, so that you can have a foolproof plan for the rest of this year, and you can truly own your corner of your industry. Whatever it is that you do, you can feel just so amazing showing up and spreading your message and selling what you sell. And we are going to be tackling all of this at the party of the year, the best party ever. This is a 4-day group coaching event. I haven't done one of these in 2 years, which is crazy. It's been 2 years. And the sole purpose of this is for you to get coached. So you will have the opportunity to be live coached by me in a group setting. It is transformational. It is absolutely transformational, and you're going to get the exact shifts that you need for your success. I'm also going to be teaching a short lesson each of the 4 days that will empower you and equip you for the rest of the year. And then the best part is it's community. So if you've been kind of feeling like, oh, I'm going at this alone, I don't have my people, or you just want to feel more part of a group of ambitious mom entrepreneurs who are doing the thing while raising their families, sign up. You're going to want to be here for any of those reasons that I listed. But if that wasn't enough, we're also going to be giving party favors, aka prizes, every day of the 4-day event. And, what's a party without party favors, right? I love gifting things. This is like my love language. So you should come. We're not saying what we're giving away. It's going to be awesome. You're going to want to be there. The prizes are only given live, so you do have to be there live. However, I know I've talked to so many of you that are like, oh my gosh, July is a crazy month. We're traveling, we're busy, we're doing all the things. I get it. I am a mom. I am feeling the pinch of time right now. I'm literally in it with you. And it's okay because we're going to send out a replay every day at 8 p.m. Eastern. So the calls will be at 1 p.m. Eastern starting on July 10th. And then later that evening, so 7 hours later, my team is going to send out a replay with the video as well as a recap of everything that we talked about. So you know what? Participate in the way that you can participate, and we will ideally see you there. The really cool thing is that I am seeing a lot of you signing up and you're sharing about it on social media. And this means so much to me because my big goal for this is to reach 50 women directly through this event. And I have actually never had 50 women live on a call. I think the most I've ever had is maybe like 15. And I'm just being very honest with you. It's hard getting moms onto live calls because again, we're busy, we're doing all the things. My big dream is 50. And I can like visually see this in my mind and I can see the faces and I can feel the energy exchange of all of us like being in it together, and you're on the chat and everyone's like, yes, me too. And I feel this and we're all feeling so supported and lit up. That is my dream. So if you want to be one of the 50, sign up. If you want to help me get to that 50, share about it on social media. I have a graphic that we are floating around all over Instagram. You also get it in your email when you sign up. Share that and tag me, and then I will reshare it on my Instagram, Happier in Motherhood. So to sign up, you're going to go to happierInmotherhood.com/party of the year. And that's like written all together, happierInmotherhood.com/party of the year. Or you can look at this episode in your podcast playing app. So you can just like look down at your phone right now, and you should see the link right there with this episode. Cool, right? Okay, so I will see you at the party of the year. But let's talk some success practices, right? Like, ooh, this is something you probably see online. I don't know. You've read about it in books. And I want to just start with a massive caveat. Okay? Are we ready for this? Here's the deal. There is no single practice that is going to make you successful. There is no thing that you're going to do that's going to make money rain from the sky. And if it did, that would be super weird. And I would be like worried and I don't know. So I want to be clear that we're not idolizing any certain daily practices here as being the thing that's going to create success in your business. And if you see someone like promoting that, I would run the other way because you don't have to do anything to be successful. You can be successful exactly as you are, okay? You don't have to do anything perfectly. And we're not setting this episode up for you to feel like a failure, like you're not good enough, or to tell yourself that I won't be successful unless I can perfectly nail these daily practices and that's going to be the thing, because it's not. There is no one thing that will make you worthy of success because you are worthy of it right now. You could sleep in every morning until 10 a.m. and never work out and never journal and never meditate, and you could still be really successful. It's true. And I see people like this all the time. Now, these practices are designed to support you. So I want you to think of it in this context. When you think of pro athletes, right? Like those people who are making millions of dollars a year to play their sport. How are they managing their time, their energy, their personal power, their gifts that they have been given? They're not sleeping on them. They have a really strategized their daily practices of what they do that they believe best support them to show up on the court or on the field and give the performance that then creates the success for them. They're highly disciplined. And I really think at the end of the day, it's less about the practices and more about the self-discipline it creates. The truth is, to be an entrepreneur, you have to be incredibly self-disciplined. And if you feel like right now, you aren't, don't beat yourself up. It is okay. It is a skill that can be learned, but it's first having that awareness that maybe you do need to grow in your own self-discipline, because discipline does create results. So I want you to recognize that there is no connection specifically between this set of daily practices and success. We want to uncouple those two, and I want you to decide what you want to believe about supporting yourself through daily practices so that you feel so good and so aligned with who you're supposed to be that then you're more likely to create the results that you want to create because you feel so good, because you feel so supported, not because you meditated and then now you've got money in the bank. Please, we're going to just separate those two. So I'm going to share some of my daily practices, and I want you to just kind of get curious as you listen and think about what kind of practices your most successful self does on a daily basis. And there's no right or wrong answer of what you should do or not do. I want you to just trust yourself and listen in. So, this one is one of my big ones, and I have been saying this since day one, and that is a daily gratitude practice. And if you immediately were oh, oh gosh, Kate, not that again. I want you to really look at why you're having that response right now. Why are you feeling against being grateful? Gratitude is what makes the world happen. And when we get into a heart posture of gratitude and we recognize that everything you have right now is a gift, right? You didn't have to have the things that you have. You don't have to have your home or your business or your job or your kids or the food in your fridge or the water that comes out of your faucet, right? You weren't entitled to any of that, but you have it. You have the car, or you have the trips that you take. All of this is just bonus. And how do we know this? Because we can look around the world and we can see that there's a lot of humans who are living with significantly less than us. You have more than your daily needs met right now. I guarantee it. If you're listening to this podcast, you have your daily needs and more being met. So what I see often happens is that when we get into a place of either entitlement or resentment, those ruin it when it comes to your possibility of having success. When you feel entitled to results, you're well, I've been at this for 3 years. It's yeah, I know you have. But also, entitlement doesn't create results. Gratitude does. When you're resentful at your people for not signing up, you're literally pushing them away. You're not grateful for them. You're mad at them because they aren't saying yes to you. So it's time to shift, and a daily gratitude practice is the way that you can do that. So I just put on some vibey music and I take some deep breaths. So I'm just getting relaxed, right? Because I don't want to do it from a place of I have to do this. I'm just going through the motions. I want to be fully present to it. And then I just connect to the reasons I feel grateful. And I just trust whatever comes forward. I keep writing until I feel so satisfied in my body and I feel overcome with gratitude. And if that's not an emotion that you're used to feeling, it could even feel a little uncomfortable. So you want to keep at this until you get to a place where you're ooh, this just feels so good. And I'll just move throughout my day and I'm just oh, I'm just so grateful for this. Ooh, this just feels so good. And gratitude is just a magnet. It just is. I don't know how to explain it, but love and gratitude are the magnets for everything you desire. When you can shift into that place, you're really going to start to see things change in your life and business. This second practice I want to talk to you about is writing out my goal daily, and then self-coaching on any reasons why I'm feeling shaky around reaching that goal. Your goal can be whatever you want it to be. So some people get weird about money goals, and if that's you, I would see what is it about a money goal that triggers you. It could be an impact goal. So sometimes I'll just play with the number of people I want to help and I want to serve, and that feels really, really awesome to me. You could have some other kind of goal, right? It could be like, I'm going to have this many conversations on social media. I'm going to reach out to this number of people. Whatever you want your goal to be, that's totally cool. But then you want to look at any reasons that are sitting under the surface for why you cannot reach your goal, why you cannot have that outcome. And so I will just look at those, and I will question each one individually, and then I will write out the evidence for why that isn't true. And then I will reframe the thought into one that feels more supportive for me. The third daily practices that I do is around supporting my nervous system. And this just helps me to stay grounded and balanced because, running a business and raising a family, oh my gosh, right? It is taxing on the nervous system. It can bring up a lot of things from your past that just maybe resurface because you're really putting yourself out there. You're in that discomfort of growing yourself, and that's totally normal. But you want to make sure that you're taking care of your nervous system because your nervous system is what supports you. So if I am feeling anxious, I will do a vagus nerve reset. You can just search for that on YouTube and you'll find some great resources. And I will use that to bring myself into a state of calm. I might do box breathing. I use EFT, otherwise known as tapping, where you tap on certain points of the body. And that's has been very beneficial for me. Also just getting out in nature. That's a huge one for me, resetting my nervous system. I find that I naturally start to get more anxious the longer I sit inside in artificial light. I would guess it's probably the same for you. So get outside, no matter the weather, go out, get the sun on your face, or maybe it's the rain, whatever it is, stick your feet in the ground and breathe deep. It will take care of you. The fourth one on my list, speaking of taking care, is taking care of my body. Because like your nervous system, your physical body also takes care of you so you can wake up every day and do the dang thing. So I focus on getting really good sleep. I have blackout curtains in my bedroom. I'll sleep with an eye mask. I try to go to sleep around the same time and limit my screen time beforehand. There's a lot of different things you can do to improve your sleep, but just sleeping, actually sleeping instead of staying up late and binging shows could make a huge difference. Also eating foods that nourish my body. I just try to pay attention to what my body is needing from moment to moment, what kind of things it's craving. Is it craving more protein? I can always tell. Or am I craving more greens? I'm a juice would sound so good right now. I listen to that and I spend the extra money I need to make sure that my body is getting is being supported. Because again, if you're low energy and you're dragging your caboose around, you're going to have a really hard time showing up in the way you need to grow a business. I will also supplement as needed, and it's not gonna make any recommendations here, but I did notice something curious this spring. I was super low energy for months. I was dragging my caboose around, let's just be honest, okay? And a good friend of mine, I was hanging out at her house and she hands me a bottle. She goes, "Hey, do you want these? I can't take these anymore because they're interacting with this other thing that I'm doing." And she was getting Chinese medicine, and then she couldn't take them in combination. And what she gave me was a container of grass-fed beef liver pills. I know, your girl is weird. It is okay. I'm totally fine with being weird. And I started taking these and my energy went through the roof. And I'm oh my gosh, I just think I was low iron. And that happens to me. I've noticed that like in pregnancy and stuff, I'm just more susceptible to that. Maybe you are too, us females, this just tends to happen. So the liver pills have been upping my game. I'm taking B vitamins, and then I just take like multivitamin. I take a liquid multivitamin every day, sometimes twice a day. I take some other things too. Again, not going to name them here. Okay, number 5 is mentorship. I have had mentorship since before I started my business. Actually, me hiring a life coach was the reason I started my business. She was the one who gave me the idea. Do you believe that? It is crazy. I've talked about it in other episodes, but that was over 5 years ago. And I just think, what if I hadn't hired her? Because at the time I was like, oh, coaching, so scammy, weird, ugh. And I was just so desperate for help. I hired her, and I've hired other coaches since. I typically only am in long-term relationships with my mentors or my coaches because I find that it is most valuable to me to be known by someone who knows my heart, my patterns, my story, my dreams. And when you mentor hop and you go from program to program or person to person, you never really get known. It just satisfies that itch of yours to like, ooh, something shiny and new, but are you really getting what you need? So I am all about having that daily support and having a place I can plug into, not only when I'm feeling down and discouraged, but also when I want to dream bigger and I need someone to kick my butt and be like, hey, Kate, you're playing a really small game right now. Like, what are you doing? Right? And we need those people in our life who can do that because your friend circle is probably not doing that, right? Like your parents are probably not doing that. Your siblings are not doing that. Most of us we don't have the support we need. We just don't, especially when it comes to building online businesses. People still have their misconceptions about what it even is. And if that is you want to make sure you're taken care of by mentorship. I also count in this category my peer group. So I surround myself with other powerful mom entrepreneurs, and I have a very small, tight-knit circle of other multi-six-figure entrepreneurs who are doing what I'm doing. And we have some really powerful conversations. And I didn't really have this when I started, so if you don't have this yet, don't stress. But I am so grateful for it. And so like just this week, these are some of the conversations I had. One of my friends said, hey, what if you made in July what you made all of 2023 so far? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's juicy. Like maybe I will. Maybe I just choose that is my reality and that's what's going to happen. Can you even imagine? How fun is that? And then another friend told me how her business has grown so rapidly that she is just witnessing herself fully stepping into that CEO role. She's leading her team, like her team has grown. She's stepping back and taking more time off. And these conversations are so inspiring. And they remind me of what's possible for me too. So birds of a feather, they flock together. Who is your flock? And are they supporting your biggest dreams and ambitions? This is why I am so passionate about Expand Mentoring membership for moms in business. That is my year-long membership. And we're going to be opening up enrollment in a few more weeks. So hey, keep your eye out for that. But that is why I am so passionate about it, because most of us don't have the support we need, but when you come into this community, there is no dream of yours that is too big or too much. You get to be all of you in this community, and you get to have other women cheering you on and saying, heck yeah, you can do it. And that is something that will fuel your success, just feeling supported, because I know from my own experience that has made the hugest difference for me. Okay. The final one is making decisions from my future self. I am always running my decisions, whether that's like investments, how I'm using my money, how I'm taking care of my body, what I'm choosing to put money into. I am making these decisions from a future version of myself. This is a huge one, and here's why. I never make decisions from where I am in this moment. Ever. Because when you do that, you keep recreating where you are. right? Because you're only operating with the information you have in this moment. So like, let's say that your business is not doing well right now and you're feeling really scarce and you're feeling a lot of lack. So what is going to be your tendency? It's going to be to lock up, shut down. You're going to go into your turtle shell to like protect yourself. But that is only going to create more of the lack and less of the security that you need and less of the abundance that you're truly craving and you get to have. So you have to think bigger than this moment of like the fear or the scarcity and tap into a future reality where you have all your needs met and more, where your bank account is overflowing, where people are like, clogging up your DMs to work with you, right? So when you know your vision, where you are heading, both in your business and for your family, you feel so alive in it. You know why you're here and what you're doing. You're going to make decisions from that place. So I'm always checking in with myself. Okay, what version of me is deciding this right now? And is that where I want to be? Make your moves from your future self, and you will get to your future self so much faster. Okay, my loves, I hope that this episode served you and you have an idea now of what kind of daily practices you want to implement for you. Just know I don't do these perfectly. I don't wake up every day and have a checklist of like, okay, and now I'm going to, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But I have integrated them so much into me that I just intuitively know when and what I need on a daily basis, and I do it. So figure out what yours are. I'm here to support you. If you need help with that, feel free to hop in my DMs on Instagram at Happier in Motherhood. I would love to have that conversation with you. And of course, I'm going to see you at the 4-day party, right? With a group coaching party. Let's do it. It is going to be the most amazing time for us to connect and to vision set and strategize for the rest of 2023. Use the link to register that is in the show notes on your podcast app. Just look down, you're going to see it, or go to happierinmotherhood.com/party of the year. And I will see you on July 10th for day 1. And just thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If it has served you, if you have enjoyed it, please share it, leave a review. Okay, my loves, I will see you on the next episode.